Hey everyone, it's Raven. Welcome back to the Nest. What I have for you all today is an update on my consumer debt snowball. If you did not get a chance to see me set up my debt snowball, I will link that video, maybe not up right now, but like a little bit later in the video, probably after the my intro, so that you can go back and reference that to see how I utilized these debt tracker sheets, as well as this kind of debt snowball tracker sheet that I created, which are available for sale in my Etsy shop, and that is linked below. So if you are interested in seeing my update on my debt snowball, stay tuned. Alright, so did not make progress that I planned to make, because my plan for really the end of July, kind of the wrap up July, was to have my my first Credit One card completely paid off. And then I was hoping to have half of the second Credit One card paid off. That was my plan. None of that happened. I didn't even touch this second Credit One card, and I have not paid off the first one, but I have made a dent in it. And my plan for the month of August is to completely finish this out, as well as possibly knock out this second Credit One card entirely. It's sort of ambitious for me given some things that I have going on, but we are going to make that. I'm going to say we're going to make that happen. Well, no, I am going to say that. I'm going to put that into the atmosphere that I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to eliminate this first Credit One card, and then I'm going to eliminate the second one. I'm just going to speak it into existence and pray that it happens. So let's flip over to, let me grab this one, and then I'm going to grab this one, because these are my current debt snowballs. So let me put the rest of those over there. All right, so like I said, where we are is I still have this Credit One, the first one. All right, so here is the screenshot of where I paid down on this card. So my starting balance was $367.89. Now in the month of July, I actually made 3 payments. You only see 2 for July, but it just doesn't show the one that was earlier in the month, because this card is actually due on the 6th, I think, the 6th of the month. So I made my regular payment on the 6th, or maybe a little bit before the 6th, which was like $30. And then I made 2 more payments in the month of July. As you can see, I made an $100 payment on July 23rd, and then I made a $125 payment a week later on July 30th. And in the month of August, I've made 1 payment towards it, which technically counted as my payment on, well, my regular payment. Like I said, the card is due on the 6th. So but I paid extra. I paid more than just $30. I made an $80 payment. My minimum payment was $30. I paid $80. So with those 3 payments, well, really 4 payments, because like I said, my July, it just doesn't show it here because I just don't have it opened up all the way. Like I said, so with those 4 payments, my balance has gotten down to $62.89. Okay, I had to look at that right. Yeah. So my current balance is $62.89, which I most definitely can pay that off this month. If I don't, that would just be very sad if I don't pay that off. So I'm likely going to be making that payment at the end of this current paycheck budget that I'm in, and then moving on to the Credit One card number 2, which is the one that the current balance for that one is $519.84. So what we're going to do is we are going to color in, because I colored in 50-50. So we have paid off, yeah, so I need to color in all of these because I only have $62 left. So I'm going to be coloring in all of these as well as majority of this one. I will leave a little bit on that one because like I said, my balance is $62. So that's one of these plus a little bit of that one. So, and while I fill this in, I'm going to go ahead and give you all a debt story time. Now, the debt story time I'm going to be giving you is my lovely student loan debt. I know. So, little story. Well, not really a little story. It spans across many years. I'm currently in school getting my master's degree. And I'm getting my master's in nursing. Nursing was not my original career choice when I was coming out of high school. It was, I wanted to be a doctor. That's what I wanted to do. And my family were on board with that. So what happened was I actually graduated high school early. I graduated the class before my actual class. And with that, I was able to secure a scholarship. Full ride. It was an academic scholarship, pretty much to any school of my choice. It was a scholarship that was given away. I think it was just like a city scholarship. I don't think it was like a state scholarship. I think it was just in the city of Memphis, and I can't really remember the name of the scholarship. But either way, it was an academic scholarship, and it was full. I mean, everything was paid for: tuition, books, everything. So what I did was and it was also based on like where you went to school. So if I went to a 2-year college, which was what I did initially, it would cover for that. And then let's say I switched and went to a 4-year school, it would have, the scholarship would have increased to that amount to cover for a 4-year school. And the scholarship was only for 4 years. So I pretty much was able to get 2 years at, community college and then 2 years at a 4-year school, or 4 years at a 4-year school. So I left high school, and like I said, I graduated a year early, and I went to junior college. I went to the local community college here in Memphis, and I started taking all of my courses, like my pre-med kind of stuff. And then my plan was going to be to do them there because number one, the schedules were better. So do them there and then move on to 4-year school. That did not work out. I kept that scholarship probably all of 1 year. And a part of the requirements of the scholarship was, of course, to keep my grades up. And I, like I said, graduated high school early. I was still young, which, I mean, even if I graduated high school at my regular, age in my regular class, I still would have been young, but I was like super young. I think my first year in college, I was barely 17. I think I had just turned 17 when I started. And I think I started in the summer because I graduated. I think I started like right after. So I think I had just turned 17. And I was just, doing my thing, living life. I wasn't in high school anymore. A lot of my other friends, they were still in high school. I just was living my best life. And I ended up, grades were all jacked up, and I didn't keep that scholarship. So that was, like I said, after my first year in junior college. Then I moved to my second year in junior college, which is where because I didn't even have to use Pell Grants. When I had this scholarship, I didn't have to use any type of federal financial, nothing, because the scholarship paid for everything. And which I think is different now, because I think most scholarships now, you have to apply for federal aid first, get whatever your Pell Grant is, and then the scholarship covers the rest. But then I didn't even have to apply. Well, I had to apply for financial aid just to apply for it, but I didn't have to use like any Pell Grant, none of that. Second year I did though. Second year I did, because like I said, I lost my scholarship after 1 year, and then I was still at the community college that second year, and it was it got paid for by Pell Grants, so no student loans came into play yet. I had Pell Grants, and I finished out that year just barely. And then I moved on to the four-year school, University of Memphis. That's where I went. Still on the pathway, trying to become a doctor and all that jazz. I was there for a year, flunking terribly. And not because I was unintelligent, because I find myself to be, I consider myself to be very intelligent. I just was not focused. I was absolutely not focused. I didn't live on campus. I lived at home. And even though I didn't live on campus, I was doing a lot of on-campus things. And my grades were suffering again. So when I moved over to University of Memphis, this was in my third year of school. Like I said, I did 2 years at the community college, and then I went my third year, I moved to University of Memphis. At that point, my Pell Grants did not cover everything. So that is where my student loan debt began. My third year when I moved over to University of Memphis, which is a 4-year school. So my third year there, everything was still very pre-med-ish. I even had to retake some classes. It just was a whole mess. So that whole year, I was all dedicated to pre-med stuff. Come fourth year, I still was dedicated to pre-med, but I kind of was doubting that that's what I really wanted to do. And I changed my major to nursing during my fourth year. The spring semester, which would have been halfway in the fourth year, I changed my major to nursing. So now only so many of those classes transferred to that major, because I mean, even though you think it's all in medical, you would think that the courses are the same. It's not. There are courses that you have to take for pre-med that you don't have to take for nursing, and then there are some classes that you do take, that will kind of transfer back and forth between both. But there are many classes that you take for pre-med that do not just count in nursing. It doesn't count. So wasted all that time, 3.5 years. Yeah, 3.5 years pretty much. Freshman, sophomore, junior. 3.5 years, because freshman, sophomore, junior, and then half of the fourth year I was all pre-med, and then I switched over to nursing. So I started nursing classes that spring. And then I was still at University of Memphis. Then I moved to what was considered fifth year. Still no degree. We're 4 years in, still no degree. So this was the beginning of fifth year. I was still taking nursing prerequisites, those kind of things. And I was hoping to get into the nursing program at University of Memphis. That didn't happen, didn't work out. And at that point, my college education just stopped. So like I said, so how this kind of ties into my student loans, first year, second year was at the community college, which the community college doesn't even take student loans anyway. So that was all Pell Grant, which I wasted. I wasted like a year of my Pell Grant on some courses that I wasn't even gonna take because I wasn't pre-med anymore. Then when I moved to University of Memphis, that is where my student loan started. I was at University of Memphis for 3 years, pretty much. So that's 5 years of school, no degree, and I had 3 years worth of student loans. So that's where that started. Then I kind of just dropped out of school altogether and started working full time. That lasted for about a year before I went back to school. And where I actually went was one of those technical schools, like those like really for profit schools. I went to their nursing program, and it was a fast track program. It was only 15 months, but it was very, 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 very expensive. I think it was like $42,000, and it was all, pretty much the whole thing was student loans. I didn't have to pay 40-something thousand, but because I had transfer courses in. So like, all those kind of general education classes like English and math, and even like the prereqs like A&P 1 and 2, micro, all that stuff, I had all of that. So I didn't have to pay them 42, but I mean, of course, taking those prereqs other places, I paid that. Through student loans, it was paid. So I think roughly that program, I think I paid somewhere around $30,000, but that included everything. That included the tuition, books, clinical fees, and it even included the testing fee to take your license. to take the test to get your license. So that program was 15 months. And like I said, I completed that one, completed it, start to finish. And I graduated from that program with my associates in nursing. And then I went and took the test and got my license. Passed first time. And then I started working. Well, I wanted to go back and get my bachelor's in nursing, which I did. And I went to Western Governors for that. Student loans, used student loans for that too. And I think I spent roughly like 10 grand there, maybe. I can't remember, but it was maybe like somewhere around 10, 11 grand for that. Got my bachelor's, and then I did not go back. No, I didn't go back. I waited a while before I went back. Oh, and I filled all that in. Crap. That's what I get for talking so much. It's okay. It's okay. Because I'm pretty much done anyway. I'm pretty much done. I just need to make the $62 payment. But anyway, so I waited a year and then I went back for my master's, which I'm currently getting my master's now, but I'm not at the same school that I was at the first time. The first time I went, I was in a FNP program to be a nurse practitioner, and I did that for a year, and then I left that school, and I spent $14,000 in student loans. Well, you might as well say 15 once you round it up, because it was like 14 and some change. So $15,000 in student loan debt for a year at a school that I did not finish for my master's. I left that school and transferred to where I am now, and I'm just getting a general master's in nursing, not my NP or anything like that. I just decided I did not want to do that at the time. So I'm just getting a general master's in nursing, which I should be finished with that fairly soon. But that is all to say that my current student loan debt sits now at, and this is with principal and interest. I will post it up here, the exact dollar amount on the screen, but my student loan debt is currently at $109,000. And like I said, that includes my time spent at University of Memphis, which is a complete waste of time. The very expensive technical school that I went to get my associates in nursing, which was like 30 grand. And then I BS'd around with my master's, wasted 15 grand for that. And then I'm currently in a master's program right now. So that encompasses all of my student loan debt, which the principal balance, I think is like 90-ish, like mid 90. Like it's the principal balance like in the mid 90s. And then the rest is just interest. So like I said, it's currently sitting at $109,000, but I will post the exact amount again right here. So that is what my student loan debt is looking like, and it's probably going to be the last debt that I tackle, because every time I think about it, it just makes my head hurt. But I do know that there are folks out there that have much more than me and probably looking like, girl, I got twice that. I was talking to a coworker, and that's what she was like, girl, I got twice that amount of student loan debt. But everybody's struggle is their struggle. As I was talking, I realized that I filled in all of the freaking credit cards, which wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to leave like I was supposed to leave this open, but it's cool. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to trip about it too much, because the balance is only $62. And like I said, honestly, with today is Sunday, that will be paid off probably Friday. So I'm not going to trip over it too much. And then I will be able to completely tick that off. Now, as far as for my car, I have not put anything towards my car since before I did the debt snowball setup, which was 2 weeks ago. I won't be putting another payment towards this until payday at the end of this month. So I don't have anything to fill in here, but I will by the time I get ready to do this next one, because I decided just to do these debt snowball updates every 2 weeks. So by the time I get ready to do the next one, which is 2 weeks from today, it'll be posted 2 weeks from today, I would have made more dents in this, so I can be able to color that in more. And I'll actually pay attention next time and make sure that I fill in the right number of cards. So that is currently my update as far as my debt snowball. But I guess I could tell you all why I didn't move forward with my plan of paying this off completely. I had some expenditures some unexpected expenditures that came up in July. They weren't major, but it definitely affected my ability to pay this off like I wanted to. I had to purchase a new charger for my iPad, which that was $50, because I've had my stint with non-Apple chargers and it does not work out. Sorry, if somebody knows of a good off-brand kind, link it below. I feel like I've tried them all. I've tried some from Amazon, even the ones that Amazon promotes as like the Amazon best choice or whatever they do. I've tried some from I've tried them all, and they don't work out. I actually had a phone that got messed up from a knockoff charger. So just since then, I buy certified Apple chargers from the Apple store or from, Target or wherever, but they're Apple based. So I had to get a charger for my iPad, which that was like pretty much you might as well say $60, because I got one of the longer cords, because I just don't like the short cord. I don't like the shorter cords. I like the really long cords. So I had to get that. The cord was $30. And then, of course, the box comes separately, because, Apple wants to dominate on their money. So the cord and the box were separate. So might as well say I paid $60 for that. And then I also purchased a mini fridge for my office / craft room, which that was like $100, so you got 160 right there. And then I bought my dog a new bed because he tore up his bed, so I had to buy him a new one. And he didn't tear it up just like because it was sitting stationary, tore up. I took the cover off of it to wash it, and when you take the cover off, you have like the pieces just kind of wherever. So he saw the pieces, was like, oh, I'm gonna attack that. So he tore that up, so I couldn't put his bed back together, so I had to get him a new bed. And that was $100 and some odd, because I had to get him like the really big bed. So yeah, so I had some expenditures that actually came up, and that's why I was not able to completely pay that card off like I wanted to. It just happened. Things happen, and that's just one thing I've come to realize with this journey of financial health and freedom, is that things happen and you just have to deal with it and recover. That's just how I feel, because I don't really look at it as a setback, because I still put more towards paying this off than I normally would just paying my regular payments. Like I said, my regular payment on this card is just $30 a month. I put towards this card, let me calculate it up, 30, which is my regular payment, 100, 125, and then another 80. I put towards this card $335. So it's more than what I would have put towards it anyway. You see what I'm saying? So I feel pretty good about that, with only having $62 left to pay it. So and which you're probably wondering why my numbers are looking like this. Well, you said you paid $335, but your starting balance was $367. You should only have $30-ish left. When I made the first $30 payment, this was higher. It was like $390 something. And when I paid the $30, the first $30, that's what got it down to the $367. So technically, since it's been this balance, I've only paid $305. So that's where the $62 comes from. So I feel really good about that, because like I said, just my regular $30 payment would have been paid, and that was it. So all right, well, if you all enjoyed this video / story time about my debt snowball and then my student loan debt, give me a thumbs up for a like. If you really enjoy my content and want to see more of my content, please remember to subscribe so that you can join the flock and not miss any more of my videos. Thanks guys. Peace.